Have you ever wondered how to find freedom from past trauma and fulfill your soul's mission? Welcome to the Accelerate Ascension Summit, where we elevate your awareness, magnify your message, and monetize your mission. I'm Dr. Katja Rusanen, your host and speaker for this session. In a moment, we will delve into a topic that is close to my heart: transforming past pain into purpose and using spirituality as a guide to find true freedom. My work focuses on helping purpose-driven individuals like you discover your spiritual curriculum, release energetic blocks, and unlock your full potential. With a doctorate in spiritual science and master's degrees in spiritual psychology and spiritual science, I blend deep spiritual insights with a pragmatic approach to facilitate meaningful and lasting transformations. Having walked my own path of healing, I understand that finding freedom from trauma is crucial, because I know the pain of being prisoner of the past too well. I believe that when we reframe trauma, we turn life's challenges into wisdom that guides you towards fulfilling your soul's mission. Now, let's explore my presentation: 3 keys finding freedom from past trauma through spirituality, where you learn how to release weight of your past, connect with your soul's wisdom, and step fully into your true life purpose. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to find peace with your past and embrace it as a part of your soul's journey? Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to release the weight of past trauma and feel free to succeed on purpose? And have you ever wondered what it would feel like to turn your healing into a message of hope that inspires and impacts others? Welcome to the 3 keys to find freedom from past trauma through spirituality. My name is Dr. Katja Rusanen, and I'm so delighted that you are here, as it's time for us to shine our light, share our gifts, and succeed on purpose. Before we dive into how to find freedom from past trauma, I want to spend a few moments discussing what trauma is and why finding true freedom is so important. When I use the word past trauma, I define it broadly. It can relate to a singular event or a series of experiences that left a lasting impact. Trauma may manifest in emotions like sadness, numbness, anger, confusion, and more. Importantly, trauma is not confined to major life-altering events. Even everyday struggles such as loneliness and insecurity can leave a traumatic imprint. Everyone's experience of trauma is unique, and all are valid. There's a shocking statistic from the National Council for Mental Well-being that reveals that an estimated 70% of adults in the United States have experienced at least one traumatic event. The real challenge goes beyond confronting these experiences. It requires transcending them in order to find purpose and meaning again. Without this, trauma can hold us as the prisoners of our past for a lifetime. But why do so many struggle with overcoming trauma? Even in Greek mythology, we find the story of Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron, a wise centaur, was renowned for his healing abilities, yet he could never heal his own incurable wound. This paradox of being both healer and one who suffers deeply mirrors the experience of many who have faced trauma. The wounded healer phenomenon reflects a profound truth. Our wounds can become a calling to help others, but they can also feel like a life sentence of pain. My own family history reflects this as well. My mother never healed from the loss of my 8-year-old brother, who tragically drowned before I was born. In her final days, as I sat by her bedside and held her hand, she confided that the grief still was like a heavy stone in her heart. She had been unable to shed a single tear since receiving the devastating news. Yet she harbored a deep wish for me to find a way to heal my own pain. A wish that profoundly shaped my path. Like so many of you, I struggled with the weight of my own trauma and felt stuck. Unable to move forward, I truly was a prisoner of my past. I found a way to transcend the pain and turn it into a source of strength and purpose. Today, I'll share with you the 3 keys that help me, and they can help you too, to find freedom from past trauma and align with your highest purpose. But let me share first how I got into that prison of my past. It started in the springtime. I still remember that spring. The spring when I fell in love for the first time. I was living in a small village in Finland, and I experienced the delightful sensation of butterflies in my belly. It was indeed sweet 16. Suddenly the world seemed to shimmer with newfound magic. The sun shone brighter and the birds sang beautiful melodies. He looked so handsome in his black leather jacket. I felt bubbling happiness whenever we were together. But my first love story didn't end with the happily ever after. It ended abruptly when I heard the devastating news. My boyfriend had died by suicide. The pain that I felt was overwhelming, and the question why became an open wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. I was consumed by guilt, believing that I should have saved him, that I should have known. I thought it was all my fault. If I had been more attentive, more attractive, more everything, he would have stayed. I simply wasn't enough. In that dark place, I felt like tomorrow had lost its meaning. And I came very close to taking my own life. But luckily, there was an opening for a spark of light to enter into my dark mind at the 11th hour, and I chose life. This choice started my healing journey through the grief, trauma, and darkness. I discovered spiritual teachers who helped me on the way. They brought me answers that I could not otherwise find. 15 years later, I went to a palm reader who asked me, "Why don't you write?" And that stirred something inside of me. It felt like he just knew that I had a story to tell. That night, I started to write my first novel, even though it felt like opening Pandora's box. And through the healing power of writing, I started to see the lessons that I had learned throughout this journey. The shift occurred when I truly got the message that life didn't happen to me, it happened for me. That was when I started to change the story I was telling myself about what had happened and its meaning. I saw things in a new light, and the thought that I wasn't enough began to transform. And soon I wanted to claim my freedom from the prison of my past so that I could help others. When I began to see the lessons within my journey, I also discovered a profound sense of peace. And with that peace came a spark, a desire to share those lessons with others who might be experiencing their own darkness. I wanted to bring a spark of light, a spark of hope, to show that there is a way through, even on the most challenging days. When I found the courage to share these lessons, I started with small, safe steps. At first, I shared with just one person. What I discovered was that a genuine heart-to-heart connection, something that was new for me. And as I continued to open up, I gained courage to share in a small group and eventually with larger ones, and later on sharing it publicly. And I noticed how each step I felt a little freer. Through this process, I realized that the true freedom isn't about forgetting the past, but embracing it with compassion and releasing its hold on us. By connecting with others, I was no longer carrying the weight alone. I was no longer thinking my past was like a deep, dark secret that I needed to hide. This journey of freedom also invited others to step forward and reflect on their own healing journeys and seek also guidance and support. And I want you to know that freedom from past is possible for you too. It starts with small steps, and each step brings you closer to that peace, lightness, and purpose that you deserve. I want you to feel free to share your journey and the lessons you've learned. And I want to acknowledge you for being here and having the willingness to find freedom from past trauma. And I know that my story may seem like extreme one. Not everyone has faced literal life and death situations, and thanks God for that. The good news is that you don't have to have gone through severe trauma to have something meaningful to share and help others. I believe that everyone has valuable life lessons to share that can make a meaningful impact. So now let's dive into the 3 keys to find freedom from past trauma through spirituality. We start with number 3, that is observation. Now you might wonder, what do I observe? We can observe these 3 levels: mental, emotional, and physical. When something happens and it alters the life we planned, it affects our thoughts, feelings, and actions immediately and even years later. Many people say that life is never going to be the same, and that is very true. Life is changing every moment. Yet we truly notice the extremes, those highs and lows. Those are the moments we remember. So you can observe, and I invite you to observe even right now. What are your thoughts? What is happening in your mind? What kind of thoughts are you having? Are they encouraging you or are they discouraging you? And then we go to the emotional level. That is your feelings. What are you feeling right now? And you might even scan your body from top of your head to tip of your toes and just notice, is there any sensations in your body? And by the way, numbness is a sensation too. So if you feel numb, just notice that as well. And then it's the actions, the physical level. What are you doing or not doing? So it's those both things. Because sometimes we are aware that we are not doing something that we would like to do. We might be doing something else. So just notice, how aligned are your actions towards what you say you want in life? So then let's move to the second key, that is compassion. And this is super important. Have compassion with yourself. Wherever you are on a journey after trauma. And next, I will go through 5 stages that often happen after trauma, but there is no timeline. And sometimes these stages also can happen simultaneously. But I want to share these stages so you might notice where you are on the journey. Do any of these stages sound familiar for you? And also notice, observe if there is any judgments coming forward for you. We start with the surviving stage. The focus is on coping with the immediate effects of trauma. It's about finding safety and stability amidst the new normal. Here, the goal is simply survive and keep going, finding a way to cope. And you also are finding ways to manage overwhelming emotions and create a sense of security. This stage is about laying the foundation for deeper healing by addressing basic needs and achieving emotional and physical stability. And many get stuck here because they feel overwhelmed by emotions like fear, sadness, anxiety. And they may avoid feeling the feelings like I was. And they might also struggle to establish the sense of safety, which makes it difficult to move forward. Then there is the seeking stage. This is when you start looking for new ways to understand and find answers to your questions. You want to find deeper meaning and purpose. So you begin to explore different approaches, whether it's therapy, spirituality, mindfulness, or support groups. It's natural to feel overwhelmed by the choices, but this stage is about finding what resonates with you. It's a time to search for meaning, guidance, and the right support systems that will help you move forward on your healing journey. And people often feel lost or skeptical in this stage, unsure of which path to take and doubting that anything will help. The fear of trusting others or trying something new can also create hesitation, leaving them feeling stuck in indecision. And then there is healing stage. And this is when you are ready to deep emotional work to process your trauma. This is where you confront painful memories and emotions like anger, grief, and shame. It's challenging but transformative time. The purpose here is to integrate these experiences into your life, allowing you to release what no longer serves you and start rebuilding the trust in yourself and others. Many get stuck here because they are missing the soul awareness and they keep peeling the never-ending onion of things to heal. The intensity of the healing process as well can make it hard to keep moving forward. Then we have rebuilding stage that is about reconstructing your life and identity after significant healing. You begin to set new goals, form new relationships, and create new patterns that support your growth. This stage focuses on reclaiming your power, developing new skills, and engaging with life in a meaningful ways, often helping others and creating that impact in life. It's about taking practical steps to rebuild a life that aligns with your highest purpose and values. People often struggle here with the fear of the unknown and fear of taking those steps of being seen. They may also grapple with perfectionism or imposter syndrome, which prevent them from fully stepping into their new identity. And then the final stage here is thriving. Then this is where you move beyond trauma to live a purposeful, empowered, and fulfilling life. You have learned to maintain your progress, handle new challenges, and continue your personal and spiritual growth. In this stage, you fully embody resilience, purpose, and joy. It's about using the lessons you learned from trauma to enrich yourself and make positive impact in the world. Even in this stage, people can get stuck due to the fear of success or fear of new triggers. They may feel hesitant to fully embrace their new happiness or worry about losing it or keeping it up. So there is some challenges for each stage, but it is again finding that joy of living once again. Now, I want to give you a moment to check. Let's observe what's happening in your mind. Are the thoughts that you are having right now supporting you? Or are they not? Just notice. And then let's check, how are you feeling right now? Just tune in and maybe you scan your body from the top of your head to tip of your toes and just notice if there is any parts that are calling your attention. Any emotion that is coming forward for you right now. And then also check, what are you doing? Are you getting distracted and multitasking? Or are you observing what's happening within you right here, right now? Just notice. And here is a way for you to expand the compassion. This is a compassionate self-forgiveness sentence that we can use to release any judgments that we might have placed against ourselves, others, or things. And I call this my freedom formula. And it goes, I forgive myself for judging myself or someone or something as and whatever the judgment is. So for example, I would say, I forgive myself for judging myself as not good enough. So I want to give you 30 seconds here. So test it out and say out loud if you can. So go ahead and test it out. Well done. Just notice now, how are you feeling? And you might feel immediate release, and sometimes we might need to repeat a few times to experience it. But this is also a key to freedom. The number one key is awareness. Awareness truly is the key that can set you free. And what I mean with that is that when we can see our life from soul's perspective, we can find that greater peace and greater ease. And this was really the key for me, to make peace with my past and claim my freedom. I believe that our soul is interested in learning and wants us to use everything for learning, growth, and upliftment. So also our past hurts and unresolved issues can be seen as learning opportunities. Doctors Ron and Mary Halnick put it this way: we are not human beings with souls. We are souls using a human experience for the purpose of awakening. So if you could choose to view your life from this perspective, if you could choose to view your life that you are a soul using a human experience for the purpose of awakening, what could you be learning here? And when we are seeking that learning, we can use those different levels, the mental, emotional, physical level, and we can observe all of it as souls and seeing what is the lesson that we are learning. And that is the spiritual level, also called soul level. And I believe that when we are coming here to the earth, which I call Earth School, we have a spiritual curriculum, we have a learning plan. But when we arrive here, we forget our study plan and we keep discovering it as we go. And often it's easier to see when we look back. We see what we have learned. Sometimes we need to repeat a class or two, a couple of times before we can master it. That is when we are going through those patterns, repeating the similar experience again and again and again. And sometimes it's easier to find the learning when there is somebody else holding the light for you. And there is a reason for this. Because you were probably told as a child not to touch the hot stove because it would burn you. Hopefully you listened, but you may have come across a hot stove by accident. What did you do when that happened? You immediately removed your hand and avoided touching it again, right? During this process, the amygdala becomes activated in your brain. It creates a memory that is specifically tied to heightened negative emotional state. This is called fear conditioning. And this happens when person is under severe emotional situation and it's stored differently. This is why you are more easily able to recall the 1 or 2 times the specific situation caused you distress, but may overlook the 100 times that the same type of situation was uneventful. This protects you from having similar negative experiences again, if possible. Back to the stove example. You will not touch hot stove in the future if it's all within your control. The amygdala has effectively stored the memory of hot stove to keep you safe. This is also the reason why it's challenging to break through fear on our own. We don't want to go there. We avoid it. We want to be safe. Unfortunately, our bodies can overreact to other stressful situations that aren't life-threatening, like sharing your message on social media. You may realize that you are overreacting or behaving in a way that is counter to what you know to be true. Knowledge alone is not enough for lasting behavior change. So if you find that you are dealing with fear, consider getting support, whether it's working with me or someone else. You don't have to be held as a prisoner of your past. It's possible to make peace with your past and find freedom when you tap into that spiritual level of awareness. Use what you have learned here today, or continue working with me or someone else so that you can gain soul awareness and get back to living fully now, so that you can shine your light and share your message and succeed on purpose. And now I want to invite you to a channeled healing prayer meditation, as we have covered a lot here, and you might feel that something is surfacing. So I just want to invite you to take a couple of deep breaths in and out with your own rhythm. And if you're a safe place, you can close your eyelids for a moment while I'm asking. Dear Father, Mother God, allow us now to step into your light. I'm asking support for all of us right now, so that we can find peace with our past and claim that freedom that is available for us. Allow us to trust once again that we can indeed live wholeheartedly and feel that deep connection with the higher power, allowing us to feel that we are indeed fulfilling our soul's mission here. And I'm calling forward great archangels to create safe and sacred place for us, where we can trust that we can indeed tune in and release what no longer serves us. And I'm asking Holy Spirit to support us here and bring a new level of clearing, new level of healing for us right here, right now. And once that's done, let us be filled with light once again. Let the light also surround us and protect us. And let us uplift our awareness to all the way up to the soul realm through our crown chakra. We are just uplifting our awareness to a place that is full of light, full of love. A place where we can feel nurtured, where we can feel safe. where we can find that deeper connection with our soul. Just allow yourself to relax into the knowing that your soul already knows. You may ask, what am I learning through this life experience? Just see what comes forward. You might get immediate answer, or it might come later on. Whatever is happening, just know that you are loved. Allow yourself now to embrace the younger part of you that went through those experiences. Let's just send light to your timeline from this current moment. You are just sending light all the way to the moment when you were born. And when you reach the moment when you were born, let's just for a moment here send love to that little miracle, that brave, courageous soul who chose to come to experience this human journey. We are just sending love and saying thank you, thank you, thank you for the courage that you have. And then we travel all the way back to the current moment. And just imagine that you can shower yourself with love. Have compassion as you have gone through all those experiences in your lifetime. You know those moments of hurt and pain, the sorrow, the grief, as well as the moments of joy and happiness, love, light, all of that. You are sending love. Let's just say thank you, thank you, thank you to your soul for choosing to be here at this time. Let's say thank you, thank you, thank you to the soul wheel as we start making our way back. And we are calling forward all parts of you. All parts of you are coming back. We are just traveling down and down and down, reaching your crown chakra, and all parts of you are coming back. You may start moving your body a little bit. And I am just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Gently take a moment here to notice, how are you feeling right now? What's present for you? And just as a recommendation, to take a glass of water before you move forward from here, and allow yourself to just take a moment to ground yourself as well. And then I just want to finish with this, that I want you really to take away from here that your past does not need to equal your future. You truly can find freedom from your past and live wholeheartedly again. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as we wrap up here, I just want to leave you with this. Remember, you are not on your own. There are lots of support available for you, but you do need to ask. And just remember that your past does not need to equal your future. You are a magnificent soul with the mission here to accelerate ascension your own way. So allow yourself the gift of healing and claim yourself that true freedom as you see your life from soul's perspective, and find once again that joy of living that is loving. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this session, please give it a thumbs up. And now it's time to shine, share, and succeed. Bye for now.